there's something powerful about physically writing something down. Reminders, physically writing down goals, physically writing down calendar events, things like that.
Not to cut you off, but to like physically write down your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions.
Yeah, journaling. Yeah, any type of way that you physically write something down. Oh my goodness.
Would have killed him, dude.
Oh my. That would have... Dude, if that was over like...
Inches.
A couple inches to the left.
His right shoulder. Like his right shoulder had like the dirt marks on it.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, that was just such a funny way of explaining. I live in the woods.
I live in the forest. It takes a while. I'm surprised I have internet. Another one of my recommendations, even though I've already read it, that I think you will absolutely love, bro.
And what book is that?
I'm not telling you. You're gonna have to wait. We already mentioned way too many books in this episode.
Wow. You're withholding my improvement in life.
You're
wow,
gonna
bro.
love it.
No, I'm joking.
It's right alley.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Buckhouse podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside Johnathan Buckhouse right over there. We are two brothers that have a lot in common, get together once a week, and go ahead and talk about just what's going on in our lives, our hobbies, our interests, our businesses, that type of stuff, just what's going on. Johnathan and I started a snowboarding YouTube channel together back in 2016. Johnathan now does that as his full-time job, and I moved back down to our hometown to be away from that. But anyways, from there, Johnathan, we're approaching the end of your season. We're approaching the end of the snowboard season.
So not my season,
I know that your
snowboard season, but not mine.
Yes, I was gonna say you still got a lot more snowboarding to do, but what's going on in the mountains? How what resorts are still open? What's going on?
Well, we just got 5 inches of snow yesterday. I had a killer powder day, and then A Basin, Copper, Breckenridge, Winter Park are all the Colorado, and Loveland are the Colorado ski resorts that are still open. So season's still kicking along. A lot of the resorts close on May 11th, which is 10 days away. So a whole week of shredding, and then A Basin will be open until June. So I got plenty more days to get. Since 2025 started, I've rode over 70 days. And so this year is off to a pretty rad start. I'm really excited for 2025. If you guys don't know, if you don't have a big calendar like I have, I keep looking at it because I have it displayed in my office. But we're 1/4 of the way through 2025. Have you achieved any of your goals? Let's start with you, bro. Have you achieved any of your goals?
To be honest, I'm terrible at writing goals down leading into a year. So I guess you could say some goals I've achieved are completing 75 hard, things like that.
That's a good goal.
Thank you. I have some minor goals that I had, such as starting up my esports organization and kind of some things in that that I've accomplished. And then I have my daily goals that are very big, I guess you could say, such as I want to own a house with a big backyard and a garage. I write that down every single day. That is a more long-term goal. So I haven't achieved that type of stuff. But I'd say a more immediate goal that we kind of talked about last week is that I've been in a rut after 75 hard, and I really feel like that is going away. So I'd say that that's a more immediate goal, is get out of this rut. And so I'm feeling pretty good. Had a killer workout last night, a killer, I did leg day, and I'm not going to be able to walk by the end of today, leading into tomorrow. So that's always a good feeling. If you're a psychopath like myself, no, I'm joking. But no, I will say I need to be better with my goals. I did put up my big calendar. I put it up after being 1/4 of the way done with the year. I have put up my big calendar, and I am writing down every time I work on 3 things. Every time I go to the gym, every time I work on my Shipwreck Gaming esports organization, and every time I work on the podcast, I am marking it down. And the calendars, I backlogged it pretty quickly because I could see what days I went to the gym based off of my workout app. And I also backlogged the podcast days based off of when I uploaded videos or when we recorded episodes and everything. Calendar's looking pretty full, so that made me feel pretty good about my year so far. Maybe not beat myself up as much.
I don't know how you fill it in, but I like to. So like when every time I go snowboarding, I highlight the day in green. And anytime I accomplish a goal, I highlight it in blue, and things like that. So like when I look at it, I can immediately see wins.
I like that idea, and I admittedly should have done a different approach. I originally had a good idea. I say a good idea, but I'll have a picture up on the screen of my calendar.
I'll send you one of mine too.
Thank you. My calendar goes vertical, so it's January and then like moves over a column to February and then moves over a column to March and so on and so forth. I know that these big calendars that Johnathan and I are talking about, which we'll have some link down below for you guys as well, but they come in different shapes and sizes. They can be horizontal, they can be vertical, all that stuff. So mine's a vertical one. And what I was gonna do is I was using Sharpies and I was gonna outline the box if I worked out a day. So I was outlining the box in red for a workout. But then I realized that it's like if I worked out one day and then skipped a day and then worked out that next day, by me highlighting the box, it makes it look like I worked out that entire time. And I'm like, oh, that looks weird. So right now I'm using check marks, but I'm like, something that like stands out a lot more. So the highlighting of the days, I like that. Yeah, I think that's a overall good strategy.
Yeah, it's crazy. This calendar, I don't say it's changing my life, but it's very motivating. I stare at it all the time. And the thing about it is it helps you realize like, holy crap, like we are 1/4 of the way through the year. It's crazy how fast it goes. But then I go back up to the days in January and I read my little notes and I look at it and I'm like, holy smokes, that's when I went to Austria. Like that was forever ago. That's when also when I went to Canada. Like that was forever ago. But then it's like right there. And then I don't know, it's really cool. It's also every single day I write a note of like what happened in my day types things. And I'm really excited for like 5 years down the road if I keep doing this calendar thing. You know, I can pull out the 2025 calendar and I can look at it and be like, holy crap, that's every single one of my days. The little gem of like, went down a scary couloir this day, or like Roman killed it at Breckenridge. Like, you know, these little like gems, these little like things. And then having like the goals written and then be able to like, I'm telling you, man, you write goals down or just like to-do lists and like you just really start cranking stuff out. I have this little to-do list pamphlet, I'm holding it up, and I've been writing down like what I need to get done, like going into snowboard camp and what brands I need to invoice and things like that. And you just like start with the simplest thing. Some people say start with the hardest thing. I'm a momentum guy, so like I start like knock out 10 emails. So I'll jump in my email, do 10 emails, and I can mark that off the list. And then it's just like momentum. It's going. On the calendar, like I see a stretch of 4 days that I didn't go snowboarding. It like pisses me off. It's like I need to snowboard more. So like for this month, I wrote to snowboard 23 days this month, which is a pretty high count. But I'm trying to snowboard 200 days in 2025. So I don't know. It's just like writing goals down, writing things down, period, will help you achieve stuff. Like subconsciously, like so many times I'll fill out this like to-do list and then I'm not checking it off. I'm not doing things. And then like 3 days later I come back to it and I look at it and I'm like, oh, I did everything on this list. And even though I wasn't following the list, I just subconsciously remembered I had to do these things because I wrote it down. And that's the same thing with goals.
Yeah, as much as we talk about how scary the future is for like AI, VR, or like just the future of technology, I find faith and hope in writing stuff down. And that sounds weird until I might explain this. So it's like there's something powerful about physically writing something down. Physically writing down reminders, physically writing down goals, physically writing down calendar events, things like that. There's something
even further,
powerful
not
to
to
the
cut you off, but to like physically write down your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. as well.
Yeah, like journaling. Yeah, any type of way that you physically write something down with a pen and paper, pencil and paper, doesn't matter. Just a paper and a writing device. If you write something down, there's power behind it. There's science behind it that you are. I don't have the numbers right now, but I know I've heard analytics that it's like you are 3 times more likely to complete a goal if you just start by writing it down or something like that. I don't know the exact analytics, but it's there's science behind this, that writing stuff down is there's power behind it. And that, like I said, that gives me faith towards like the future, because I don't think that we're ever going to get rid of it. Like we're always going to have pen and paper, whereas let's be real, in this world of technology, at any point we could just be like, okay, we're done with physical stuff and we're just going to switch all to electronic, on our tablets and take notes that way and everything. But there's literally writing down on your iPad does not mean writing it down on pen and paper. Like it there's a physical difference. And so I like that writing stuff down has power, and I like that there is importance behind that. So
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it. I know I have two really cool journals that I like to write in. One is the father's story. Bobby got me this, and it's like questions for me to answer for the kids. So when they're old or I'm old, I can give them this book and they can read like what was the most embarrassing thing in high school, things like that, or like. Anyways, so there's that one, and then I have this one right now. It's a little Iron Man looking one, but I have age 33 and then now age 34 because I'm 34 now. And so I'm filling out these journals. One of the mentors that I like, even though he's not alive anymore, Jim Rohn, I just read his book. He talks about journaling, and he says, and his big thing is like reading books and creating a library. And he's like, part of your library should be your journals. And it's like, it's a really cool thought. Like, I have this huge library of books that I've read and I've accumulated knowledge from. But also, like, you could grab my books, which are my journals, and read what I've learned and what I've wrote down and things like that. I wish I journaled better in age 33. I wrote about my show on camera for about that many pages. So, a good little chunk. And then we'll see how much I write in age 34. But it's one of those things where at least I have like 60 pages of my day-to-day life that I can go read about age 34, like my thoughts and my philosophies when I was that age, and it's pretty cool. I don't know, but if I didn't do it, I'd never have it. So
I like the idea of backlogging years, like you're saying, like years of your life. Whether you set that to be a calendar year, whether you set that to be a seasonal year based off of your hobbies, such as Johnathan's snowboard year starts in, October and ends in, what is that?
Usually September. Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So, or you do your birthdays, right? I think that it's really cool to have a backlog of that, of like, what did I do in this set time frame, right? In this set time frame, what did I do? And journaling, I think, is a great one to do for your birthday, because like you're saying, doing it for like, this is my 33rd year in life's journal, like my 33rd year of life, this is what I journaled. And I think that's a really cool concept. Something that's really helped me with my journal, and this is probably advice that's applicable to almost everything in life, but I originally tried to journal when I turned 24, I want to say. And I told myself, I'm going to journal every day for a year. Yeah, that lasted like a month. And then I started journaling every other day. And then I started journaling every couple days. And then I outright just stopped journaling. And with my current journals, I just journal kind of like when I have just the slightest want or need to just write something down. If I'm like, I've got a lot of thoughts right now and I just want to write it down, and like, that is okay. Your journal doesn't have to be daily. If it is, that's great, but it doesn't have to be daily. It's just having a physical catalog of like what you were thinking about on those days. And I think that writing the date down is good and important, because then you can kind of see what was going on at that exact time and everything. But it's like, don't beat yourself up if you're not doing it
Date
daily, but as
everything.
long as you are.
I date like the kids' drawings and stuff, or and like put like Bristol this date age 3 like all the time. That way I remember, because like you will not remember. Like if you think you're gonna remember things, you're so wrong. I also like when it comes to journaling, or this might sound cynical or egotistical, I don't know, but like I have a very dangerous job. Like mainly because I make it dangerous. I put myself in dangerous situations. Like the other day I was hiking a mountain called Peak One in Breck, and like I got the sickest gut feeling that if I continued on the path that I was going, that something bad was going to happen. Like someone could die. It was going to go south. And so we legitimately like just canceled our day. And I was like, hey, Cody, we got to leave. Like, I got this feeling of death. Like, I felt like if we continued, me or Cody could die. And so, like, some days I face death. My buddy Cam almost got hit by a rock yesterday going like 45 miles per hour. It's a 50-pound rock. It fell down the mountain behind him and hit him in the shoulder and hit his snowboard. I'll send you the video, bro, so you can put it in there. But like the reality is, like, any day I go to work, I could die. And I have children. And in my head, it's like, if I was to die, because Roman's only 7, you know, Bristol is 3. I don't remember anything when I was 3. So having these podcasts, having all the vlogs I've made, having journals would allow my children to know who I was if I was to disappear. And like that's a big motivator for me as well, to like write, to fill in these books, to leave something behind if I was to disappear. It's a kind of a scary thought, but I don't know.
Not gonna lie, bro. Not the biggest fan of this conversation. No, I'm joking, but damn, that's very real, and I'm happy that you're here on this podcast with me, bro. In a very real way. Like I'm being very sincere right now. Like, because I've voiced it before that Johnathan does have a dangerous job, and our older brother is a firefighter, and like that is concerning. And I have prayed for you guys on many occasions, just for God, just to keep you safe because of the reality of what you guys do. So yeah, like that's like I'm both terrified but also happy that you had that feeling of like something bad is going to happen. We need to stop what we're doing, because better to have stopped than to keep going and find out if that feeling was genuine or not. So yeah, thanks, bro. But um, just know, bro, if anything happens to you, I'll be there for Bobby and the kids. Especially because I know that you and I are very similar in a lot of ways. So I hope I can show your kids just how cool you were through myself.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I live such a fulfilling life because a lot of the times like it is dangerous. It is like on the line, you know, and even yesterday after Cam almost got obliterated by this rock, we hiked the East Walladay Basin, which is this crazy mountain face. It's super gnarly. And there's this like super narrow, like your snowboard can't go through it sideways, 20-foot chute of rocks, and then it opens up really nicely. And a dream of mine is to like stand at the top, put my board straight, and not make a turn, and just like fly through it. It would be like I'm gonna do that one day. Yesterday was not the day to do it. We had some fresh snow, but it was like a little dust on crusty, and like it wasn't the ideal time to do that. But I was like, our adrenaline and everything that day was so much higher and elevated. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look like a goofball. It's not going to be smooth. It's going to be survival snowboarding, but I'm still going through this. I don't have to point it, but I'm going to go through it. And so I dropped in on my heel edge and like crawled my way through this super narrow, gnarly chute that like if I would have slipped, I would have fell like 200 feet, like 200 yards, or I would have fell forever. It was a no fall zone area. And it was so, I got through it and I felt so alive, and it was amazing. Despite, if you go read the comments, everyone's like, you ruined it, blah, blah. Like, people would kill me. Anyways, but to me, it made me feel so alive, and so I love that. I love the feeling of like escaping death and like pushing it, or like maybe that was too much and stuff like that.
I'm watching the video right now, and yeah, people are like, "Thanks for scraping off the POW." It's like,
I keep clapping.
Yeah, you did, but it's like
keep clapping back, and I'm like,
it's like a 20.
I was just saying, like, you're not riding that. You're gonna say, "Oh, scrape the POW." You're not going through that. I was the only person that day. Well, Cam followed me, and then another guy followed Cam just because they saw it happen. Like, if I never went in there, no one would have went in there. Like, that is a 0.01% of 0.01% people are riding that. Like that thing goes untouched all season, the majority of the season. And then some idiot like me shows up and is like, I'm going through it. Like,
yeah, no, that the like they're at the very bottom of it. Literally, your board is touching rocks on both sides.
On both sides, you have to point through it. You have to go straight through. Is the only way to truly ride it.
Yeah,
and then you go in like 50 miles per hour on a 40-degree pitch mountain that is legitimately just surrounded by rocks. So you need like a 8+ inch POW day to point it to then have the ability to make a turn to decrease your speed.
Like, that's a terrifying clip. Like, that is like, just riding that, sure, like after you get through the rocks looks amazing, but like just the start of that, yeah, you make one small wrong turn going straight down that and you're dead. Like, people are psychotic for thinking that stuff sometimes.
Oh yeah, the people are like, you scraped all their snow away. It's like, shut up. It makes me so mad. The other thing that's frustrating is like my buddy, I was walking my buddy Cam through like how to ride Notch 2 at A Basin, like kind of like giving him advice and things, and like this dude was like kept chiming in and like basically saying what I was saying was wrong, or like it's just like, dude, let me tell my friend stuff. Like, leave us alone. You have to, while we're here, you have to watch this video of Cam surviving this rock.
I will say, there's something about certain activities or certain things, and like I think that snowboarding is one of them, that everybody just thinks that they're an expert, and it's just funny. I don't know. There's a couple other activities like that, especially like the gym or whatever. It's like, I know I'm not an expert in the gym. I know what works for me. I do my own research and like kind of look at it and see if it makes sense and go with that. But it's like, so many people think that they're an expert in all the fields that they're, or like all the activities that they're in. It's just like, let people be themselves, you know? I don't go to people in the gym and say like, hey, let me help you with your form, blah, blah, whatever. Like, I didn't go to college for this stuff. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I know what works for me. So yeah, it's just so funny.
Well, even for me with like snowboarding, I don't like try to like chime in, tell people what to do, or inform people or educate people like in person, unless they're like legitimately asking for it, or I truly feel like they're about to put themselves into bodily harm, because there's a reality with skiing and snowboarding. I'm like, hey man, maybe don't hit this jump, or if you are gonna hit this jump, like the speed is this. But like the majority of times, let people do their thing. Let them figure it out. Let them. Their perception or their enjoyment is going to be so different than yours, especially if they're at a different level. Like, there's so many things that I do that don't even like flutter my emotion because I'm so used to it. I've done it so many times. And to a different other person, they're getting as much adrenaline as I got going through that rock shoot. It's like, who am I to step into their world and to either like affect their experience, which typically is usually in a negative way, by being like, it's not good, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, just like, dude, shut up. Leave people alone.
No, I know it may sound bad, but like don't even do that at the gym, where I've seen people. So I go to Planet Fitness, which has, sorry, I like hiccuped and then it caused me to yawn. It was weird. Anyways, I go to Planet Fitness, which has its own demographic of people, right? There's so many memes about it on the internet, but I've seen some people do like leg press in a terrifying manner where they will load it up with weight, but then they have no control of it when they're squatting it down. Like they just drop the weight and like their knees are flinging towards their body and then they push it back up. But then when they push it back up, they lock their legs, which is like it can be scary. And I've just like watched this and I'm like, this guy's gonna break his legs doing this. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying. But at the same time, I'm like,
they're his legs.
Who am I to say that this guy actually is in control or whatever? You know, like sure, visually it may not look that way, but it's like, what if he's like, dude, I'm a power lifter and like this is just what I do or whatever. You know, like I don't care. Like he's gonna do what he's gonna do. And he's gonna figure it out. And like I hope he doesn't get hurt, but I'm not an expert. I'm not gonna go and just tell him what to do. Like it's none of my business. And that's what I think what a lot of people struggle with is minding their own business.
Did you watch that rock clip yet?
I haven't received the rock clip yet. I've had my phone open.
Send it to your Benjamin Buckhouse at Instagram or whatever. It's on Instagram.
Okay. Okay, I was waiting for it on my phone.
No.
Got it. I'm going to like a text message.
It's on Instagram.
Oh my goodness.
Would have killed him, dude.
That would have, dude, if that was over like
inches,
a couple inches to the left,
his right
like,
shoulder, like his right shoulder had like the dirt marks on it.
Yeah. Holy cow. Did you see the rock like sliding down?
Oh yeah, I was like, you can't hear it in the video, but I was like, Camp rock. Like, we went down. He'll post a part 2, but we went down. We picked up the rock. We went and found it. It was 50 pounds easily.
That rock seemed like it came out of nowhere.
I mean, yeah. We were doing a shoot. That's a pretty common one. It's one I usually take people into to like warm them up for like the gnarly riding we're about to do. And in his video, he does my voice thing. But I was like, hey Cam, when we ride into this section, ride slow. He comes in cooking it, falls into the chute from like the super gnarly. Like, you don't normally go in that direction. That's like the most extreme, gnarly, whatever. Usually really barren as he went through and then rips a rock out, which I've never seen. Like this late in the year to rip a rock out like that's very uncommon. That's like a springtime, like snow's been melting type situation. And thank God he was the only person in there, because imagine someone was like a little lower than him too, because that thing went another 100 yards, like just bah, 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 bah. And it was cooking. It was going like 20, 30 miles per hour. That thing would have obliterated his head.
I had the video up on the screen for any of the viewers, but yeah, that's one of the closest experiences I've seen of somebody like.
I would say that is the closest I've ever watched a friend almost die.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy stuff snowboarding. We've seen there was this viral clip a couple years ago. Holy cow, we're getting old. This viral clip was literally like 7 to 8 years ago or something. But basically, somebody was at Keystone and he sent a pill, right? And landed extremely flat at the bottom of.
I forgot about that video.
The runs. Yeah, but you remember? So it happened.
It was
What's the next up from Easy Street?
Are you talking about it was in Park Lane? Are you talking about the green box? The dude
Park
hits
Lane.
his skis on the green box.
I think
and double
I will try to find the clip, but it's
and went like a trillion feet after.
Yeah. So Johnathan and I were there that day. We didn't see it happen, but we saw the aftermath, and the guy like
they took the feature out.
Yeah,
right after.
They took the feature out like literally the next day, but it's more so that the guy was like he sent this feature, landed so flat, and like there was so many ski patrol there just surrounding him and everything. It was wild. Like we've seen some stuff. We saw this guy hit one of Proline jumps and destroy his face. Like he landed on his face and he had a bloody nose and he bled down the entire landing. And I remember Johnathan and I went to go check on him. Like, you know, we've seen some gnarly stuff while snowboarding, bro.
There was the guy that crashed on Proline and uh, there was a park crew guy right next to him, and he crashed and then started having a seizure, and then the park crew guy ran over and like got him, like, helped stabilize him from his seizure. Were you there that day?
I think I was, yeah, because it literally was right outside the park crew's hut at the bottom of Proline. Like, it happened right there. Dude, we've seen some gnarly stuff.
I've definitely seen a lot, but that was by far the closest, like, to like true death. I don't know. It was a lot. There's a lot of death talk in this episode. Let's change subject. One of my goals for 2025 is to read 12 books. It doesn't have to be a book a month, but in general, it's to read 12 books. I've already read 2, which is pretty good for the fact that I just went through 4 of the hardest months of my year. I got The 25-Hour Day by Nick Bear. I got that book finished. And then the book, we've been talking about this last month with the podcast, is Unshakable by Jim Rohn. Once again, Jim Rohn's the guy that I equate or give credit to changing my life and becoming who I am to this day. So it was nice to read his book, Unshakable. And I know at our last podcast episode, I was like, bro, we should pick a book for this upcoming month and read it together. Have you put any thought to that?
I have put in thought about how I did not choose a book leading into this month. We may start a little bit late. I've got a bunch of. You got me. You got a book.
Well, I was thinking the best way to do it is I pick a book and you pick a book, and we'll have 2 books that we'll have the book we're currently reading and the book that we're next gonna read. And so then, like, say, like, if I pick the first book, the next month's book is the book that you pick, and then after that it'll be the book I pick, and then the book you pick, and then it's like rotating.
Deal. I will say this first month we might be a little delayed because we probably don't have the same book unless we can. I can send a picture of my library to you.
I hate to sound like this, but bro, you live in a major city, so you can get Amazon in 2 days, and you can also go to a bookstore. Yeah, you got this. You get the book.
What's the book that you want to read?
Well, we have options. I have options. We have The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. You can type these into your search album if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking.
Should try to keep the books under 300 pages, because if we keep a pace of 10 pages a day, that means each month we should be able to finish a book.
Agreed. What's your next book?
The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I know a lot of people think he's kind of a fishy, scaly salesman, but I hear a lot of good things about this book. So those are my 2 options.
I mean, I read his Be Obsessed or Be Average, Grant Cardone book. So
I want to read that one day. So which one do you want to read, bro?
Let's do, instinctually, I want to say the 10X Rule.
All right, let's do that one.
I was gonna say, it makes me want to know more about the elimination of hurry.
Well, that could be my book in 3 weeks or 3 months.
That'll be your book in 2 months.
2 months. You should easily be able to
adding
find
the 10X Rule to my.
Yeah, you should easily be able to find this. Now, obviously, to all the listeners, you're welcome to join us on this book. We're making a book club podcast, and we can talk about it on the podcast.
The link to 10X will be down below for anybody that is interested. And it's not too late for you to grab the book because, like Johnathan was saying, Amazon Prime can send it to you pretty quickly. But on top of that, we're uploading, like, these get uploaded a week, after. So, like, the end of May is uploaded into the first week of June, So, yeah, it's not too late for you guys to join in on the book club. It's not too late for you guys to, partake in this. And we will do better about predicting our next book, so that way you guys can order them in advance if you wanted to join us as well.
It'd probably be best if we pick your book, even though it's not on the podcast. We pick your book. and we put it in the description. So we'll have the 10x rule, which we're going to start now, and we'll have Ben's book under that one. It'll say like next book, and that'll be Ben's book. So if you want to get ahead of us, you can grab Ben's recommended book.
Yeah. I've got my library in front of me. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't readily see them, but I will choose a book for our next for June.
And that way Ben can be like, hey, this is what we're reading in June, so then I can order it on Amazon. Once again, it takes like a week for me to get things from Amazon since I live in the woods. But yeah, reading is one of those things.
So
what?
Sorry, that was just such a funny way of explaining. I live in the woods.
I live in the forest. Like, it takes a while. I'm surprised I have internet. Like, if you came to my house and looked at my internet,
got satellite internet.
My internet situation, you're like, you make a living on the internet, like with this?
There's no cell phone service where Johnathan lives. I get zero cell phone service.
So, just for all the listeners out there, I went into the 9th grade. So my mom homeschooled me. I didn't go to school till the 9th grade. And when I went to school, I couldn't read. Like, no joke. I didn't really know how to read. Signs of that show themselves every single day on my platforms. And so by reading books in my adult life, not only have I been able to educate myself on a lot of things that maybe I didn't learn by not going to school, but 2, I definitely can feel my comprehension and all, like, just in general, my reading and my spelling and everything improves with every book that I read. And I've probably read, I'm looking at my like library right now, it's about like 30 books up there. I've been the last, I guess I would say, since I quit my job, went all in on YouTube and self-development and becoming a better person, I started reading, and there is a lot to it. It's not just, especially when you're reading like self-help or self-development books, like you could go on YouTube and literally get a summary of this whole book and watch a 5-minute video, and you'll get everything that's in this book and you'll fully understand the book. But having something that you hold, you focus on, you try not to get distracted, you try not to let your brain wander, you're holding it physically, and then by the time you get to the end of it, when you finally close the book and you put an effort in, which I find 10 pages a day is by far the best route for cranking out books and finishing them. That equates to about 30 minutes. If you're a slow reader like me, it's about 30 minutes of your day into a book. And then you just carry it around with you everywhere. Like, you take it to work with you, you bring it in your car. Like, don't just leave it in your car. Like, take it with you to work, bring it into your house. Take it with you to work, bring it, like make it just as much as your cell phone, that you're always making sure that it's with you. When you're going somewhere, make sure you, like, the book is that part of that thing. And then you throw a journal in with that. And then every time you get in the car, you got your journal, you got your book, it will make you feel different. And then obviously you're learning something. You're learning, and trust me, like when you roll up to that meeting or whatever you got to wait for, and you're like, oh, I got 30 minutes before I got to go into this thing. Well, instead of getting on your phone and swiping away and feeling like crud right before you walk in, you bust out 10 pages of this book and you go into the meeting or to the whatever that you got to get to, you're going to feel really good. I can promise you that.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying earlier about physically writing something down and the power behind it, there's this very similar experience when it comes to reading a physical book rather than a digital book. I have the Bible on my phone. I have Kindle on my phone with some books that I do want to read on my phone, but just I can feel a difference between me reading a book on my phone over reading a physical book. Like there's a difference, and it just sticks with me a lot better, and it feels a lot more rewarding to read it in a physical way than on the digital version. I know that the Kindles are like the closest thing to counteract that, where they have the texture of the screen is a paper feeling. And then they also don't have any harsh lights. It's a very flat light that makes it look like a page. And I haven't personally used one, but I've heard a lot of good things about Kindles. A lot of people do like them as an alternative to a physical book, but it still is not your phone. But anyways, Yeah, there's something very powerful about reading a physical book. And yeah, I keep my journals. I say my journals. I've got a daily planner that I want to be better about using. I'm just not much of a planner in general, so like that's my problem. So I just need to be better about planning, and then that'll allow me to use my planner better. And then my journal that I write in, and then also my Bible. I keep all three of those in my backpack. And yeah, during my lunch, I'll just grab them out and just start working on that. And I feel like that second part of my day after my lunch, after I journal and read the Bible and everything, like I feel great. I feel great.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like when I wake up and I come in here and I get right to reading, right to journaling, right to praying, like the rest of my morning is so productive and so awesome. But when I come in here and I just doom scroll and listen to something on YouTube or whatever, it's just not the same as starting the day off with like physicalness. I don't know. On a quick little, just so you guys know, because I said I'm gonna read 12 books this year, and obviously if I only read two, and we're in the 5th month, I'm 2 behind. So I am reading another book real quick. It's putting an X through anxiety, which I would say my anxiety is a little low or non-existent currently, but I've had states where I've had pretty bad anxiety and things like that. And this is more of a Christian view of getting through anxiety. So this is another bonus book. It's only 160 pages. That's why I didn't want to recommend it as my book this month. It's too easy type of thing. And a lot of it's like answering questions and things. So honestly, it's probably like a 100-page book. So be able to crush this one on top of that.
Say my anxiety is higher than usual, but it's a little bit self-induced. That's something I'm working on. But yeah, I
Maybe pick up this
think
book on
that
top, bro. Or I can give it to you after I finish it.
yes.
That's the other thing about physical books is the ability to lend them to buddies or friends, or just be like, hey, there is a book, and it'll probably be another one of my recommendations, even though I've already read it, that I think you will absolutely love, bro.
And what book is that?
I'm not telling you. You're gonna have to wait. We already mentioned way too many books in this episode.
Wow. You're withholding my improvement in life.
You're
Wow,
gonna
bro.
love it.
No, I'm joking.
It's right up your alley.
No, being able to share things is great because I've given 2 of my favorite books to 2 people that are close to my life. One of them being The Power of Habit. I let me get the author for that one, but
Have you read Atomic Habits?
Charles Duhigg. The Power of Habit. One of my favorite books that goes into the psychology behind habits and the subconscious brain and how powerful that is. And I gave that to my old boss, who's a really good buddy of mine. And then my more recently favorite book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. I had a physical copy of that I gave to somebody close in my life as well, in hopes that it could I thought that they could benefit a lot from it. And so yeah, I love physical books. When I was thrift shopping as a job and focused on buying and reselling books, that's where I found a lot of these self-help books. I found The Power of Habit brand new as a hard copy. That's what I actually ended up giving to my old boss. And then actually same thing with The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, brand new copy at the Goodwill that I gave to somebody close to my life. And so, like, it is awesome being able to share that physical copy with each other. I know that people, it's like a library. It is like a library.
My dream as a kid is legitimately to have like a library / office or whatever, a library with like floor to ceiling books, and like I always wanted a globe with the like whiskey in it, which Bobby got me. So I have the globe that you can open up and your alcohol's in it. But like I want like a leather chair, like it's like a darker lighting, It smells like leather in there. I don't smoke cigars, but like you could. And you just like classical music plays. And just your library wall of books behind you. Just this office is close, but like it's not fully there. One day I'll have my library.
You've never shared this dream with me.
Dude, it's a full blown dream. Oh, dude, I want it so bad. One thing with books, I know we've been on the book topic really hard, so we can move off of it. But one thing with books that is true, it's not the amount of books you read. It's about having like 5 to 10 incredible books you read often, because you could read a book a second time and get a whole different perspective or thing out of that book. Does that make sense?
Oh, dude, 100%. I've read a couple of my books 2 or 3 times. There's a couple books I want to go back to read them again, and yeah, dude, 100%. And the other thing that I think is important is I don't remember which motivational speaker said it, but he hosted seminars. I think it was Tony Robbins. Might have been Tony Robbins or another one, but basically they were saying, they're like, I do these seminars not for you guys. Like, yeah, you guys being here is great, but I do this for myself because I am reminding myself every time I do one of these seminars what I am preaching. When I'm preaching it, I am also talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys and I'm talking to myself. I'm reminding myself constantly of what what I want in life, like, or what I believe in life, right? And you know, I actually just started listening to again the subtle art of not giving an F, and I just reminded myself of like, oh yeah, that's what this book is about and why I loved it so much, and like just reminding myself, oh, yep, I gotta remember this. And so I think that listening or reading the same stuff over and over is great. Like it's super important actually.
Well, they say that the process of mastery, like if you want to master something, part of that process of mastering it is the ability to teach it. Because as you teach it, you're forcing yourself to dig back into your memory and to remember the things that you've learned to share with somebody else.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It really does, especially because I think it forces you to think about it. If you're teaching it, it forces you to think about it in different angles, especially because not everyone receives information the same. So you have to be able to teach it in a lot of different ways. Some people are visual learners, some people can just listen and hear what you got to say and things like that. So some people are doers. So you had to be the one teaching them or
Well, I was saying, and sometimes in life, like you gotta think of stuff as steps. Like so when you first read a book, you might have been on level one, or maybe even level two. But this book has 10 levels to it. So when you read the book, you only could comprehend levels one through two. Well, then you put self work in. You've been working on your job. You've leveled up, and now you might be on level 4 or 5. So when you read that book again, now you can understand levels 3 through 5 of that book, and then you just continue to just be able to comprehend the information that they're trying to tell you much better. It's like taxes. When you first do taxes, it's very basic. And then like when you first do your taxes, you're not really going to understand the ability to depreciate assets. You're really just looking at what was my income? How much do I need to pay on taxes? Like, but then as you start doing more or whatever, you're like, oh, if I depreciate this much of this asset, I can like there's a lot to it.
I think that there's also moments in your life where you will feel like something from a book or whatever may or may not be applicable to you. I don't know if you've ever read a book where you're like, okay, like you're reading like that was kind of good information, but like okay, but then you may read it again, but now that information or that segment is applicable to your life. It's there's I think that there's moments where it's like
Well, becoming a parent.
yeah, become a parent. Like if you just yeah, like it's kind of like what you're saying with like leveling up. It's like after you reach a certain point and then you like or just or reach a certain moment in your life or whatever, you then just have this realization where you're like, oh wait, that makes sense now or whatever. So yeah, it goes back to what you're saying about like the levels of like where you're at and everything. So
Hell yeah. I have 7 people signed up for my snowboard camp.
that is phenomenal. When is snowboard camp again?
Next month. It's June 1st through the 7th. So we will have to like get creative about episodes. And then also we're talking about staying in Oregon all of June. So also I'll be podcasting. Hopefully. Last time we podcasted on the road, we had an issue with chickens and crickets and stuff. But in Oregon, we shouldn't have that level of issue.
Yeah, the podcast make it a little fun the next couple of weeks.
with when I'm on the road, but I should be able to get time in camper for a podcast, like because Bobby could take the kids to like the park or something, and I could quickly podcast or something. But it's hard because we always podcast at like 3 a.m. We'll figure it out. We always do.
We're gonna have to figure it out. Yeah, we always do, but we're gonna have to figure it out because yeah, Johnathan and Bobby completely forgot that I work a job Monday through Friday because they're like, oh yeah, we just podcast in the middle of the day, and I was like, that's not how that works.
I forget that people have jobs that like have a schedule.
It's not fun. I'll tell you that much.
And so it's not even because a lot of the people that are in my life that I do things with day to day also don't have normal jobs, if that makes sense. Like the people that like my buddy Chris, I'm like, hey, let's go to A Basin tomorrow. Okay. And the next time I'm like, hey, let's go to Brent. Okay. He doesn't work a job though. You know, like Tristan was like 18, lived with his parents, like still to this day doesn't have a job. So I'd be like, hey Tristan, let's go here. He's like, okay. And it's like the people I interact with the day to day like don't technically truly have like schedules or days, and so it's like everyone's like, oh, let's go here, let's go there. I also was like working with Cody, worked for me for 3 years, so my number one dude I was always doing things with. I made a decision, we like went and did it, like. So yeah, forget. I'm like, hey Ben, let's just podcast this time. You're like, I have a job. I'm like, oh yeah, those things exist.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Working on separating myself from it. So don't worry. One day.
Get the merch so Ben can quit his job.
Merch? No, I've been meaning to talk about it more. I actually was. So we got some stickers. I'm showing them off on the water bottle right now. So check them out. But I will say
huge.
They are huge. But I will say I'm very disappointed in the company that we're working with, which is a well-known company, Teespring. But so the pieces of merch that I ordered were like trial merch, or basically like test products. And so I think that they got put on the lower priority, but they were supposed to arrive April 6th, and they are not. And I'm not proud to tell you guys this because I was so excited to release the merch, and I was so excited for you guys to see it and be hands-on with it and everything.
I haven't even made them yet?
Yeah, like they literally still say printing, and I emailed them 2 days ago and said, hey, what is going on? Like, this is unacceptable. I wrote a kindly worded message, but I was just like, this makes me look bad because here I am talking about merch and I don't have anything to show for. But on top of that, it makes me not feel confident in your company because I placed the order March 22nd. It's been 5 weeks since going on 6 weeks since I placed the order, and I still have yet to receive them. I don't know if it's because they're the like trial merch or like the test merch, and so it's not a priority to them. But regardless, I'm very disappointed, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to show that to you guys because I do want to show the merch, and I did buy merch in hopes to get it ahead of time.
We could always jump to like Printful.
Jump ship.
Printfold, or I actually used 2 different ones, kind of for reasons like this. It's hard, man. When you use third party, and this is the bane of my existence, man. I get, even today, or yesterday, I was dealing with someone that was like, hey, I ordered the wrong t-shirt size. What can you do? And I'm like, nothing. We have to work with, like, I need you, like, you got to email confirmation of your order. Like, you got to go through those dudes. And it's, like, so frustrating to be the owner in a way, but have to pass people off to other people. Like, ugh. I hate it. The dream is to bring it all in-house. But even now, I'm looking at 2 buckets full of windbreakers of random sizes that, like, I sold enough, I made profit, but I still have lingering merchandise. Does that make sense? It's like, because the sizes and things, and so I could sell them at a heavily discounted rate to just get rid of them, or I just bring them out at events or give them away for prizes and things. But oh,
I will say, bro, I'm happy that you hate the third party experience, that you wish it was first party. Because so while I worked for Avis Budget renting cars, I hated it because pretty much everything we dealt with was third party. Like Avis Budget wanted zero responsibility. So basically, we rented the cars, but the people that cleaned the cars were a third party company. The people that transported our cars were a third party company. The people that ran our customer service was third party. It was a mess because we basically were like, the third party companies were always telling the wrong information, or they wouldn't follow through with things, and it was always just a mess. You could book rentals online through third party companies like Expedia or whatever, and it was always just a mess when you got to the rental counter. Like, dude, I hate dealing with third party experiences, especially as a consumer, but also as an employee. Like, I wish everything was in house, and I wish that we had that control. But at the same time, us using a company like Teespring or Printify or whatever you said, like, that allows us to do it, especially when we're first starting. So like, you love it and you hate it at the same time. But yeah, I'm really sorry about the merch, guys. I promise I ordered it with the intent of it arriving before the launch of season 2. Like, I really did. Like, it was going to arrive before the launch of season 2, and then now it's been pushed back by a month, and I'm very upset. So sorry, guys.
yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that company.
On the bright side, we got the stickers, I guess.
The stickers showed up. I have my stickers in house. If you get a sticker from me, it came from me. Bobby runs my customer service, and she's not the nicest person to deal with.
That's terrible.
Feel bad for her. Sometimes I gotta be like, you gotta be nicer to people. She's like, they're annoying me. They're not giving me their right address. I'm like, lady, chill. I'm like, you have to say sorry.
Dang,
in messages.
Tell us how you really feel, Bobby.
She'll lay into some people. If you ever get pretty upfront customer service, just know it came from my wife. I think we did it, bro. We went heavy on the motivation today, or the like self-improvement. Now
We went heavy on the
books,
books.
and I mean, to end this episode, like, I'm not a perfect human, and I hope you didn't take any of this as preaching or anything. These are just things that I've learned that have helped me get through life and to level up my income and my interactions with people, and just overall, I feel like I'm a better human after reading books and being disciplined and writing goals down and having a big calendar and all this type of stuff. I just feel like have made me stronger, smarter, better. And so that's why I'd love to share it. And once again, we said it in this episode, but by teaching or informing or sharing things that you've learned, it helps you learn it even more. And that's one thing I love about this podcast. So that's all I got.
I wanted to kind of piggyback off of that. I think that, we're all in this world together. We're all human. We all deal with the same struggles, and some of us deal with, different struggles, but we all have our ups and downs, and we all go through this. We're all in this floating rock together, and just being open about it and just speaking on it, because a lot of people feel like they're alone in this world. And I feel it more than ever that it's like, you're not alone. Everyone has been there. Everyone knows what you're going through. And if we're here to help you get out of it, that's the best thing that we can do. So yeah, I think you're right there, bro. I think we killed it. Just want to say thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you guys for being a part of the conversation down below. Check out the links in the description. There's tons of stuff in there, including merch, which may or may not arrive to you in 2 months. I'm just joking. I'm a little frustrated about that. Anyways, there'll be the books that we're talking about. So there's going to be links to our social media. Go check it all out. We really do appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah. think that's all.
Oh, I just had a huge yawn.
Peace.
Oh, peace.